Hi, everyone. Jeff Lamont here, Val-Chris Investments. I'm going to give everyone a minute to join, just to give a few more a chance. Okay, we got quite a few people on here, so I think it makes sense if we just get started, so we can get started on time. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Today, the goal is to go over, just to kind of remind everyone what we do here and what you expect from us, but also to go over the new system, the Note Exchange. I know we recorded a little how-to video, but it can be a little different from how we've been doing it in the past. I'm joined by Jake Liedall, who assists me in selling loans, and many of whom you've worked with, and also Mayumi Bowers, who's our VP of Operations here at Val-Chris. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So investing with Val-Chris, as many of you know, we're a private money lender. We've been doing this since 1975. And oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead. The agenda: investing with Val-Chris Investments, what you can expect, the note exchange program, posting schedule, and what to expect. I'll do a small little live demo, and then we'll have a Q&A session towards the end there. As a reminder, towards the bottom, you'll notice a little question button where you can enter in your questions, and then I'll go through those at the end as well. So overview, Val-Chris, since 1975, we're one of the largest private money lending companies in California. As you guys know, we specialize in first, second, and third trust deeds with decades of experience. Our main office is in Irvine, California, and that's where most of our origination and servicing staff are located. It's led by my partner, Chris Bolter, and we're committed to delivering innovative financing and different solutions for our clients. Um, as a testament of our success, we've become one of the state's largest and most respected private money lenders. Investing in Valkyris, so what to expect. So obviously, you guys are purchasing trust deeds for a reason, and that's to earn some interest. So expect to return anywhere from 8 to 14% on the loans that you're buying. Most of our terms are going to be 1 and 3 years on average, and loans typically range anywhere from 50,000 to 5 million. Um, let's see. Each investment is protected by a promissory note. We record a deed of trust. You have title insurance. You have fire insurance. Depending on the state, you might have hurricane insurance as well. We are a deed of trust lenders or a trustee lender, so you are purchasing an actual position in the property itself. You would be listed as beneficiary on title, and you are protected with an ALTA policy for 125% of the loan amount. You are not in a pool. You are buying the actual loan itself. And then account flexibility. So, as you guys know, and many of you use different accounts to purchase trust deeds with us, whether it's through a personal name, an LLC, trust, corporation, 401k, solo 401k, or defined benefits plan. How it works. So, this is where it gets a little bit different. So, it used to be where we would send out an email every Tuesday and Thursday with our available trust deeds on there. Now you have the ability to log in and actually browse the loans that are available at the time. The new platform is called the Note Exchange. I know you guys have been seeing it quite a bit coming through your emails each week. Those emails should have direct links to actually log into the website. So as you click that link, it'll take you directly to the website where you can log in. If you've never emailed me and said, "Hey, can I get a login?" you will not have a login. Right now, it's invite only, so it's not a situation where you can go sign up freely. So if you're watching this and you want to get signed up to actually look at our loans, feel free to email me or Jake or Mayumi or even Chris, and then we'll make sure that you get an invite and you can look at the loans on there. The packages on there have everything you were used to seeing in the past. So it was never, so the emails that you receive currently every Tuesday, Thursday that just show kind of a snapshot of the loans that are available. It's just that. It's a snapshot. It's just telling you the very basics, and then you click that link to log in and actually view the entire package. When you're in the loan itself, that's where you can see the detailed packages, including the property details, equity position, lien position, terms, those kinds of things. I've had a couple people reach out to me and just reply to that email that you're receiving saying, I don't know if it's a first or it's a second, things like that. It's because it's not showing it on there. Click that link, it'll take you to the website and you can see all that information. Um, when you're looking at the deal, like I said, it says, find ones that meet your criteria. You're never obligated to fund anything until obviously you commit to it. And then if you commit to it, then we're relying on your commitment. And through the portal itself, you can buy portions of loans, you can buy entire loans, you can even buy a portion and then split it amongst your own internal vestings. So if you say you want 100,000 of something, when you're in that review window, you can hit split and then add multiple vestings to it. Um, During that time, you have a 2 hour window to review the deal as well. So during that 2 hour window, you can whatever you're reviewing is yours. So if it's a $500,000 loan and you said you're reviewing $100,000 portion and you're in that 2 hour window, no one can take it from you. That's yours. And that's yours for that length of time. I'll give you a small example of that after this walkthrough. But it actually has a 2 hour window countdown. And then at the end of 2 hours, it'll actually commit you to it. It was either commit you to it or decommit you. And the feedback we received was people would rather be committed to it just in case they forget to hit yes, I want this, commit to it after doing their due diligence. Um, and then, yeah, it shows the interest and all that kind of stuff. Reviewing a loan package. So each package has property details, the appraisal, and for all the equity analysis, you can view the background of the property through the property history and the purpose of the loan itself. You can see the lien position, and you can review the interest rate, loan term, and payment schedule just like before. Committing to trust deeds, it's directly through the platform, as I mentioned. You can track your commitments, pending investments in real time. And then one question I get too is it linked to Lenders View Central? And it is not. So there are two separate platforms for now. Lenders View Central tracks the servicing and the payments of the loans that you have. Note Exchange is simply to purchase the loans. Um, the idea being that it takes all the hassle and the back and forth out of the process of buying a loan. Now you can just log in and purchase them. You get the complete history of loans that you've purchased through the system. Um, Another question I get is, will it show historical loans that you've bought? The answer is no. It's only loans that you've purchased through Note Exchange moving forward. And then, yeah, next. How you are protected. So you're protected with equity. Equity is our number one priority here when we're doing these loans. We rely on a third party appraiser to do the valuation of the property, and then whatever you're lending on is what we consider loan to value, and that's the LTV that you see referenced, and that's your loan and the difference of the equity that's in the property. As I mentioned, the title insurance, we receive an Alta policy for 125% on all properties unless it's land. Fire insurance is required, and we also do background checks on our borrowers before funding as well. Um, in loan servicing, we have a full-time loan servicing department. We've continually expanded that department as well. Timely payment collection with follow-up and delinquent payers. Notice of default and foreclosure proceedings initiated when necessary, and payoff demands, maturity letters, prepayment calculations are handled by our team as well. New posting schedule. So the posting schedule is fluid right now. However, we've decided on at four. Excuse me. We've decided on 4 p.m. is the time we're with at the moment. The feedback was 5 p.m. was a little too late. 3 p.m. was a little too early. So we settled on 4 for right now. So every Tuesday, Thursday at 4 p.m. new loans are posted to the system. We post them at 4 o'clock. Um, we're not posting loans that are already committed. I know some people have said that when you guys get the email and you click that link and you go to it and it's already gone or taken, whatever it is. Frankly, that just means someone clicked it and is looking at it pretty quickly. We have stuff in place to stop that, so one person can't do that continuously. We have some limitations set, so if one person does quickly get in there and grab a deal, they can't do that again for a while. So it hopefully shouldn't be something that happens, frequently. Especially people are getting used to the system still, and it's just working out some of the kinks. But so 4 o'clock every Tuesday, Thursday, the consistent flow of loans and notifications. Notifications is another one that we're working on as well. As you know, right now we send out the initial mailer saying what's on there at 2 and 4. Sorry, Tuesday, Thursday at 4 p.m. We also have the notification system set up in the system as well, where you get notified when a loan gets posted that meets your criteria. That is something we're in the midst of changing right now. I'm not a big fan of the current system and the way it notifies you, so that'll be cleaned up, and then hopefully some sort of digest type situation where you get one email with all the loans or with loans that fit your criteria. But a lot of these changes are based on feedback. We built it from our point of view, from the broker, from the one selling you guys the loans. It's important to get the feedback from the investor, the people actually buying the loans. So don't hesitate to reach out to me, email me, say, hey, this isn't working, or have you thought about changing this? I'm all for the feedback. The goal here is to make your life better, our lives better, and really to reduce a lot of the back and forth and a lot of the headache that you guys were dealing with when you were reviewing these deals. So please don't hesitate to reach out and kind of give me your feedback on what you've been using. Getting started. So I emailed you the how-to video. It was a general video. It probably answered most of the questions, but I'll do a little walkthrough here as well. Like this says, if you're not set up yet, please email us. All right, live demo. And I was told to move my mic here closer. Hopefully this works better here. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to do a little live demo for you guys. Share. Okay. Jake, Miami, can you guys nod your head if that works? Does that work? Okay, cool. All right, so you can see here I'm at the login page for the website. First things first, you would simply log in. When you're on that page, if you can't log in for whatever reason, hit reset password if you've already created an account. If you have not created an account, it's going to tell you it can't find your user. So that's the main thing. Once you are in, it's going to take you to our available loans. These are actually loans that are available on the site right now. You'll see here that there's 8 loans. Now, say there's multiple pages of loans right here, right? You could actually filter by lien position. You could filter by dollar amount. You can filter by length of term. You can filter by multiple things if you want to. So you can see there's nothing that fit both those criteria. So feel free to play around with this if you're only interested in, say, I don't know, non-owner occupied loans. You can click that and know that you're only looking at non-owner occupied loans. If you want to see everything again, always use the clear filter button. Don't try and just exit out of whatever you have set right now, right? Rather than doing that and trying to do this, just use clear filter. That's your cleanest way of doing it. When you're in a loan, when you're in looking at the loans, say you're interested in buying this deal right here. You will notice this is pretty similar to what we used to be at the bottom of the front sheet. So this is kind of a little blurb for everyone to see. This loan ID is just something we use internally to quickly find the loan in the whole list of deals we have in here. So you can kind of ignore that. You can see the status is currently open. That means it's available to be purchased. And then it gives you some information based on the loan itself. You can also see the loan amount right here, $1,995,000. You can see the loan to value. You can see that there's 6 months of prepaid payments, which is different than a prepay penalty. You can see the loan term is 24 months. And that right now, and then we're also taking a minimum of 199,550. This is simply due to the fact that we're usually limited to 10 investors per transaction. That limit can be increased if needed, but we always try and stay under that 10 beneficiary limit if possible in the beginning. This can also change too if someone takes a larger portion. Obviously, if someone takes a larger portion, that means that we have 9 other spots, which that minimum portion commitment would actually go down. And then you can get in with smaller amounts. One thing to look at here. So note rate, this is what the borrower is paying. This is what you're netting after servicing. So you can always see both here. I always like to point out they're not right next to each other. That's probably something I could change. Net rate to investor is right here. So please be sure to take a look at what you'll be receiving when you're looking at these loans. Interest only is the amortization. The mid FICO score. So there's one borrower on this loan. If there was 2, you would see a second mid FICO score right here. Loan payment is $18,275. That is their gross loan payment. And occupancy, this is a non-owner occupied loan. This is a first lien position. I know someone was asking where the lien position is located. It's located right here in the top corner. It's got a prepayment penalty for 6 months. I went over the note rate or the net rate, and then the property was appraised at 3,070,000, and this is an SFR. As I continue down here, you'll see that availability. This loan is available for fractionalization for partial amounts. Currently, there is $0 committed. Remaining is the entire loan amount. If there was a portion that was actually committed to, you will see that there is a smaller amount remaining. This does update live when you're looking at the deals. If you have a question on the property, you can actually ask a question. You can post it here. We'll get notified about it. We'll answer it, and then we can publish that question. So this question box is really associated with the loan itself. Like you can see down here, when did the borrower actually buy this property? And what was the purchase price? And then you can see down here, we answered it. Borrower bought the property in 2024 for 1.6 million. Um, it could be something as simple as a discrepancy that we saw a typo or you saw a typo and we fix it, things like that. So we try and make everything on here public. That way, if someone else is looking at the deal, you guys aren't asking the same questions, and it kind of gives you more clarity into the deal, the package as a whole. Um, Down here are the actual loan items that you're used to seeing. People were having issues with viewing the documents. That was changed about a week and a half ago. We have a new viewer installed. It's no longer a PDF viewer. Now it's an image viewer that loads as you scroll, which makes it far easier for us to load larger documents so that you can view them better. It also is better on mobile now because of that. Um, let's see here. Now, now the commitment review side of things. So when you reserve and review, it's going to ask you a vesting you want to use. So you can see in here, I have a couple test accounts. So I'll use Lamont Trust account. Say I'm 250,000. That's what I'm interested in. I have to agree. Now, I have 2 hours to review this loan, and this 250,000 is mine. No one can take this right now. You actually have a timer here showing you your countdown. This is your 2 hour window to review the deal. So now you can Google the borrower, you can do all the things, you can review the package, all the good stuff. The package itself that we used to email you is now just in the documents here, so you can go through everything right here. So just like you used to in the past, you can now review everything and go through it to make your decision. Um, Another comment here is these are view only documents. I'm right clicking right now and you can see there's nothing to save these. I can't print these. That's on purpose. The whole point here is that it's a view only situation to protect borrower security. If you buy the loan, you will still be sent the actual package prior to funding. So you will own a copy of these. It is still view only though when you're just reviewing the deal. So people were asking me how to download these things. You don't download them. You can't. You'd have to do an individual page, take an individual screenshot. It would probably take you hours. So for now, you just view them. You say, yes, I like them. No, I don't like it. And then if you do like it and you're like, I've done my due diligence, everything's good, I'm ready to go, that's when you'd say confirm now. And you'd say, yes, confirm, I am sure. If you hit this and you say confirm, I am sure, that's your way of telling us, yes, Jeff, I want to fund this loan. So you're in. You've done your stuff. You're good. You're good to go. If you don't like it, you hit cancel, and it just goes away. That cancel button goes away at the end of 2 hours. So that's the one I was telling you that if you don't do anything for 2 hours, then it'll end up committing you to the deal. Um, Now you saw I had multiple vestings in here, and I'm buying 250,000. I'm like, yep, I think I like this deal. I want to go ahead and purchase it, but I want to use my LLC as well. You just simply hit split, and it does 50/50 automatically. You can adjust this. But what you can see here is it goes, okay, split one of the 250 that I'm buying is now being split between my trust account. A little note if you want it, but you can leave it blank. And then another 125,000, I want to go to my LLC. And then it'll show here total split amount 250, original amount I was buying 250, difference 0, so I'm good to go. If I wanted, I could even add a third and I could do different numbers, right? And so I know that I'm committed to 250. I can split that however I want. I can split commitment. Now you can see here it says I have this much time. I have 125,000 for my Lamont LLC account, and I have 125,000 for my Lamont Trust account. If I do my review and I'm good to go, confirm, Yes, confirm, I'm sure. That will lock you in and you'll be set. Jake, I'm going to do a confirm here. So just make sure no one believes the partial vestings here. So I wanted to show you guys really quick. You can now see that since I've now committed, it's now showing there's 250,000 committed with 1,745,000 left over. So if someone else was to review this deal and commit to a portion, that's when you would see that a piece of it was taken. Um, Caveat, if someone buys a larger portion, say someone went in and bought 1.8 million of this deal, obviously there would be, or sorry, 1.85 of this deal, there would be less than the minimum required left over. The system knows that, and it would allow a smaller portion to be committed if there was a smaller piece left over. So that's kind of committing in a nutshell here. So Jake, if you could please cancel that for me, I'd appreciate it. And then yeah, so then you have available loans. Continue to peruse. You can see everything at one time. One thing to look at too is you can actually see additional loan details. If there's something like we're paying a point to the investor or we've increased the rate, things like that, you'll see that in this additional loan details section. That's kind of our way to bring stuff to the attention of you. My loans, this will show previous deals that you would have committed into. So anytime you buy a loan, it'll and it funds, it'll actually show that. So it'll be sitting there. Dashboard, this shows you if you've purchased loans in the past and what your average net rate of return is based on those loans itself. This does not take into account actual servicing history. So this is simply just based on, you bought 10 loans and they're all at 9%, it would show 9% or whatever the average is of those loans. Profile, you can see here, there's vestings, preferences, all sorts of net worth, those kinds of things. Saved searches. This is where your saved searches are located. This is when you are actually looking. Sorry, this is based on I want to be notified about first trust deeds in California up to 50% loan to value. This is the system that we're actually resetting, and I'm going to make this a little more intuitive, so you don't you can say up to 55% LTV, that kind of thing, rather than these blocks where it currently is now. And then everyone's going to have their notifications reset, and then we can reset them properly. So that way you'll be notified a little bit easier. If you do want to set that up right now, you simply go to available loans, you filter by whatever you want, and then you hit save search, name it whatever you want, email notifications, check that, save. And then that's how you get notifications about new loans that are being posted that fit your criteria. That is it in a nutshell. So the whole point of this system itself, because I know there's been some feedback of people, they only they go to look at loans and they're already gone. Really, it's as a broker, someone selling loans, we have two options, right? We have the ability of how we used to do it, where we would send out a mailer. Here's all of our loans. You guys would reply to those emails, and then we'd send out packages. By the time you got those packages, a lot of the time, people would review them and they'd get back to us. I'm interested, and we'd say, sorry, that one's no longer available. The complaint was, I spent this time reviewing the deal. I wasted all this time, and it's already gone. On the flip side, it's this system, which is, here are the loans that are available. Someone commits to it, but then now it's gone. And the response is, well, I can't even go see the loans. Well, it's because it's already gone. So, in our opinion, it's more of an upside for you to not even see the loan, because then you're not even wasting your time reviewing it, versus previously you'd get it, review it, and then it'd be gone and you were kind of wasting your time. But really, we believe the upsides of the system far outweigh the downsides. We do realize it's a transition and a difference, but with the new system, you have faster access to the deals. You're no longer waiting on email chains on us to send out the packages for review. There's higher security levels for the borrower, because we no longer have sensitive information sitting on investors' computers or any people who are just reviewing the deals. You have that 2-hour protected window, so you know that if you are looking at that deal and you're doing due diligence, no one can take it from you. It's yours. So you're no longer worried about wasting your time reviewing deals that are no longer available. Centralized experience, really everything's in one place. Now, as you commit to deals and you start to review them, you're no longer emailing me saying, hey, what do I have committed to right now? How many loans are outstanding? You can go look in your system and you can see, oh, I have 3 loans that haven't funded yet for 100,000 each. I know I'm committed to 300,000 right now. Notifications, customized notifications, like I said, that's being reworked, but they are active right now. You get notified when new loans are posted that meet kind of whatever your investment goals are. Transparent deal info. I mean, you can see it's pretty well laid out to where it's there's nothing really to hide, and you can kind of go through it all yourself. The ability to flexibility the flexibility of investing in a whole or partial loan, splitting it amongst your vestings quickly is makes for a great experience in my opinion. Less back and forth. We're not going back and forth with emails, the individual questions. Now, if one person asks a question, it answers it for everyone who looks at that deal. The waitlist feature. That's one thing I did not go over. So waitlist feature. Jake, am I still sharing my screen? Yeah.
Yeah,
The
you.
witness feature. So if you're looking at a loan, and I don't have an example here, but if you're looking at a loan and say someone is in that 2 hour review window that you saw, they have not committed to it, but they're in that 2 hour review window. Say it's the entire loan, and you're like, I want that. If I can get that deal, I want it. And you see a join waitlist button. What that does is it means that you want dibs basically if it comes up. So if that person ends up canceling, saying, "No, I don't want this thing," after doing their due diligence, it will then notify you if it opens up. It'll say, "Dear investor, this one's opened up again. Take a look and let us know if you're interested." That kind of thing. So if you see a deal and there is that join waitlist button, that just means that someone's reviewing it. They're in their 2 hour review window. Click that button. If it does open up, you'll be notified about it. Let's see what else here. Historical questions, public data. I went over those things. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Let me go over some of the questions here that you guys have submitted really quick. Q&A. Okay, so someone said they're unable to log into the website. That either means that you have not been invited, or if you have been invited, try just resetting your password. If you reset your password, then it usually will send you an email, and you can get back in that way. I know that that password reset email does expire, so make sure if you do that, you do it within a few minutes if you can. Voice fades out. Yep, sorry, I tried to move my mic closer. 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's a good question. Posting time is Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Um, will question responses be emailed back or just posted on the Q&A section? I believe for right now it is just posted on the Q&A section. That's a good tip though, as far as the if you are the one that directly asked the question, to have it emailed to you and posted. Um, so that's the kind of feedback I'm looking for. If you guys have things like that you would like us to make a change, I like that. Jake or Mayumi, if you wouldn't mind making a note of that, I'd appreciate it. Explaining a prepay penalty period. So yeah, definitely. So on most private money loans, what we have is called a prepay penalty period. That penalty is usually 80% of 6 months interest. And the goal here is to make sure that if you're investing your money, the borrower is not paying it off too quickly. So on most of our 3 year terms, we have a prepayment penalty for the first 6 months. That means if the borrower makes 3 months of payments and then pays you off or pays more than 20% of the principal balance, they would then incur that penalty. That way, you're getting 3 months of interest that you've already received, plus then part of the prepay penalty, depending on the servicing agreement. So that's what a prepay penalty period is. If you have more questions on that, feel free to reach out to me. We can go through it in more depth. Um, let's see here. Does the money start earning interest from the date funding is received, or from the date the funds are received by us? You earn your interest based on the date the loan funds, and we have your money. So once both of those things are true, that is the day that you start receiving your interest. 1.2 investor, when is that paid? That is paid along with your prorated interest check, usually 3 to 4 weeks after the loan closes, and you receive that prorated payment along with the closing letter. That's when you would receive that as well. Can you add property type like SFR or commercial? Surprised I don't have that already, honestly. Yes, I can. That's a good one. Are the previous loans entered into the new system? No, it would only be for any new loans purchased through the system. Just to clarify, we can look at note exchange anytime, not just Tuesday, Thursday at 4 p.m. That is correct. You can view this website, commit to loans, review the packages, all of that 24/7. It's just that new loans are posted at 4 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday. But yeah, you can access this thing whenever you want. Note, you can do it from your cell phone. I do it quite a bit. I do a lot of like the admin stuff behind the scenes on my cell phone. It's not the most mobily optimized yet. I'm having them work on the ratios for the smaller screens, but it does work, and you can, in fact, commit to deals, review the attachments, things like that. Can I purchase a smaller portion early on, or do I have to wait until larger portions are purchased? So it depends basically on the minimum amount allowable. We we post or sorry, we pick the minimum portions when we're posting the loan. So if we see that it's a large deal, say $2 million, we'll early on we'll say, okay, the minimum to buy is 200,000 because 10 investors, 2 million, that's 200,000. Now, if the loan's been on there for a day and I see that we have $1 million committed from one guy, then yeah, I might go in there and say, okay, minimum portion is now 100,000 or whatever it is, 110. That way, it's easier for everyone to go buy smaller portions of those larger deals. It really just depends on who commits to them and when. What is the turn time for me to fund a loan? Most of the time, when you see a loan on here, and it's about, I don't know, 5 to 7 days away from funding. Sometimes 10 days, depending on the deal. If title has some stuff we got to clear up, but for the most part, we put loans on here when we're ordering loan documents. So if a deal dies, for instance, when it's on here, it's simply because something happened. We don't put deals on here to just see if they can fund for the most part. Almost every deal you see on here, it's because we're ready to order loan documents and we just want to make sure we have a commitment ready to go. Let's see. If you are accepted to waitlist, how long do you have to respond and review the loan? If you're on the waitlist, then you'll get an email saying it's open back up, and you go and you look at it and you say, "Yeah, I'm interested in this thing for 2 hours, whatever it is." It's not a situation right now where waitlist says, "Okay, you're on the waitlist, and now you're committed and you're on the clock." Right now, it's just a notification saying it's that loan's been opened back up. The difference being, if you're on the wait list, you'll be notified it's open back up versus someone who's not won't be notified it's open back up. Is there a maximum on the wait list? No, not right now. I haven't seen a wait list get too long though. How often do we have to fill out the investor questionnaire? Technically, it's annually. So every 3 years, we have to get a brand new one. Every year, we have to at least have you restate your confirmation that nothing has changed on there. We're in the process right now of actually building in some automation where every year it'll prompt you to the first time you log in, go ahead and restate what your net worth is, something like that. It's not there yet, so right now it's more of a manual process, as you guys have seen, where we have to DocuSign you the questionnaire. But yeah, it's every year we're supposed to have something. Will there be an app for the note exchange? As of right now, there is no app, which is why we're making the website more mobile friendly. So no, as of right now, it does not have an app. I currently have loans with Val-Chris, but they do not show up on my loans dashboard. How do I get that remedied? So again, this is separate right now from loan servicing. Loan servicing uses lenders use Central. This is for loans that you're purchasing through the system itself. Let's see, discussing different loans between California, Arizona, Texas, Hawaii, Florida. Yeah, it's a more in-depth conversation, and frankly, I could probably do a separate webinar on that for you guys. Probably not a bad idea. And each state is very different. I will tell you that we service California and Texas internally. Um, every other state we lend in, we use subservice that we use FCI to subservice those loans, which many of you know. Each state is slightly different depending on the type of security you're using over there, whether it's mortgage, deed of trust, whether it's judicial, non-judicial. Some states have different requirements, like we can't lend on commercial or we can't lend on owner occupied, things like that. So if you're interested in out of state lending, reach out to me, or I can do a webinar probably next month or so. Go do a little more in depth, maybe bring an attorney on or something, and kind of go through some questions for you guys. I just see a white screen when I log in. Definitely an error. Maybe send me a screenshot and let me know what browser you're using. I haven't heard of that before, that bug, so happy to take a look at it. Will questions be answered within the 2 hour review window? Good question. It depends when you ask it, frankly. If you're asking it after hours, probably not. If you're asking it during regular business hours, most likely. Those questions typically go to me and Jake. So if you do have a question, there you go. Now you know. Go direct to me or Jake. Send us an email if need be. Hopefully, you can get a quicker response that way if need be. If the borrower fails to pay and it's multiple owners, who is the foreclosure, yes or no, and how is it decided? Good question. Typically, in a fractional interest note, majority rules. So, and it's based on percentage of ownership. So, if three investors own 51% of a loan, those three investors technically would make the decision on when to move forward. Similar to how modifications, extensions work, things like that. If you own, whoever owns a majority of the loan can technically make the decision on whether or not to extend and modify the note itself based on the servicing contract. If I'm on the wait list and get a message that I can now take a look, how long do I have to respond to the email? So as I mentioned, the wait list right now just notifies you that it's opened back up. It does not reserve you a spot in the deal. So if you get that email, go check out the loan and try and reserve a spot that way. With Val-Chris, who gets late fees, VC, or is it split? It is split. Just take a look at the servicing contract when you're buying a new loan. How many people are accepted in the wait list? Do you go in a queue? The wait list itself, it just notifies you when a new loan has been. Sorry, it just notifies you when a loan that you were interested in opens back up again. What is a prepaid payment? So a prepaid payment is different than a prepaid penalty. A prepaid payment is something that at the close of escrow, someone might prepay, say, 3 months of interest, something like that. That will then go to you and get prepaid, and the borrower won't make a payment until month 4 because the first 3 months have been prepaid. Did I hear correctly that if you commit to a fractionalized portion of a loan, you will not be overridden if an investor subsequently wants to buy the entire loan? Yeah, so that correct. That they cannot do that. Someone cannot go in and say I'm going to buy the entire loan and take out any fractionalized portion investors. That is not to say that if a loan is sitting and we only have partial amount sold, and someone reaches out to us and says I like that loan, I'll buy it, but I want the entire thing. We might make the decision internally saying we can't even get this thing done with fractional portions, so we're going to go ahead and allow this person to buy the entire loan because otherwise it's not going anywhere anyway. So that's the only time it would have to be by us. We'd have to override it. The average person cannot just go in and take people out. But having difficult time logging in at 4 p.m. I get the circle of death. I have not heard that, so that could be a bug. And again, would need to know kind of what device, browser, all that kind of stuff. If you have errors like that, just do me a favor, drop me an email, and if you can, send a screenshot. That always helps. And I'll send it to our developers and see what they can figure out for you guys. Do you handle all paperwork and filings on delinquent loans and foreclosures? Yes. If we're servicing the loan, we're handling all that for you internally with our servicing department. Does majority interest in a loan matter? Are there any decisions that investors need to make if there are problems with payments? Majority matters. Like I mentioned, if you have a majority of the loan in a fractionalized situation, majority makes the call. When it comes to, let's see, decisions that investors need to make if there's problems with payments. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your investment, it's your principal. We're the servicer. We'll follow your lead, assuming it's legal for us to do so. So if you have a situation where borrower's 30, 60 days behind and you want to file a notice of default, we'll follow your lead and we'll do that. Assuming there's no legality issues, we're just the servicer. You're the one that owns the loan. Does your servicing company go from start to finish with the foreclosure, and would the lenders need to put any legal fees up front? Um, any legal fees, you're gonna pay those legal fees. They get added to the principal balance, and they also accrue interest at the note rate. So any advances, anything you make towards a loan, that gets added, that gets recorded. Advances technically have a 3% advance fee as well that you'll earn, plus you'll get interest at the note rate on the money that you're advancing. And yes, we do help from start to finish on the foreclosure. Even in an REO situation, we have someone who helps you with REOs as well. So if it ever gets to that point, then that's when we step in also and assist where we can. Will this webinar be recorded to watch later? Yes, it will. Has Val-Chris role changed in any way respect to loan offerings or loan servicing? Nothing has changed. The way that we're selling loans obviously is just through the system now. And if you buy a loan out of state in a state we don't service, then that's when FCI would subservice it. But no, other than that, nothing has really changed. Can you show how to sign up for the wait list? You know what? I probably can here. Trying to think. Jake, are you logged in by chance?
Yep. Um, if you're not in an admin account, try commit to an entire deal to go into the 2 hour window. If you're in an admin though, it'll push it through, so you can't do that.
Yeah, I'll need to.
Or Mayumi if you have them, but I think you're an admin too. I'll keep going through these while Jake's working on that. Um, so okay, someone. By the way, love the new system. Great, thank you. Question: I cannot log in from work. I assume firewall and security settings. Is anyone else having that problem? Not that I've noticed. If it's firewall or security, that's going to be on your work side from the server itself. But these are the questions that I'm always curious about too. Maybe I'll send out kind of a survey of what time people would like loans to be posted. 4 o'clock we found is kind of the most even keel with everyone. But if there's an overwhelming response saying to a different time, maybe not at work, things like that, I'm more than happy to take a look at it. What happens if you change your mind after the 2 hour window? So the 2 hour, good question. So the 2 hour window is there for you to do your due diligence. Remember that we rely on your commitments to fund these loans. So similar to how we used to send out loans in the past, where we'd email them out to everyone and they could take a look, we rely on you. So if you say, yes, I want this, we're then moving forward with that deal. Now, if you come back a day later and say, never mind, I changed my mind because I don't like their credit, it's very tough for us to operate. And I'm going to say to you, you already had their credit report. Why did you commit if it made you uncomfortable? So I do ask that if that 2 hour window passes and you haven't made up your mind, haven't canceled, haven't whatever, and you're committed to the deal, then again we're relying on that. If there's a situation where you keep committing and then later you tell me I don't like the deal anymore, I need to back out. Yeah, it's tough for us to rely on your commitment, and we might have to figure something else out just because then we keep kind of moving forward on something that we can't really trust. If a loan is large, like $2 million, and we fund 250, and the loan sits without any funding, without any further funding for a month or longer, is it possible to move the funds to another investment? Totally. If there's a deal you've committed to and it's just not moving anywhere, and after a week or something you reach out and you're like, hey, I don't really want to deal with this anymore, that is totally acceptable. In those cases where a deal is not moving, I don't want you to feel that you're stuck to that. So feel free to reach out, let us know. It will not ding you at all. I fully understand that things change, and honestly, you want to get your money working. So if the loan's not moving forward, move on. That's fine. Let's see here. Am I buying a loan that has already been originated? In other words, am I part of the origination process? Almost all of our loans are new loans. So almost all of our loans are we find an investor prior to funding. We still fund it under Val-Chris's name, and then we do an assignment at the close of escrow, signing the interest over to you as beneficiary. If it's a situation where you're newer and you want to get used to the process, excuse me, I have no issues if you want to talk to the title officer first. Call him on yourself or call him yourself, confirm you're a beneficiary on title, and then that way they can confirm that for you, and then you can wire after that point. Thank you very much. Helpful. Great. Thank you.
Uh, Jeff, if you want to go, I can.
Yeah.
We can try and show the wait list real quick.
Okay. Let's do it.
I just put a commitment in on the gas station in
Okay.
Nogales for
Perfect. So
1.1 for 1.48.
awesome. So I see here loan. So in a situation where a wait list is here for everybody. So I log in. Here's the available loans. I can see this one shows full, but it's still available for me to look at. And you can see clearly it says full, join wait list only. So in a situation like this, what would happen is I go in, I would review it. I like it. This looks good to me. I would totally buy this. Great. Join waitlist. And then you have been added to the waitlist. If anything opens up, you'll be notified. Doing this will tell you, hey, now the loan, if this person backs out, I'll get an email saying this loan's now available. I can go in and look. But you can see I joined the waitlist, and then now that button goes away, and it says you are on the waitlist for this loan. And that way you know that your waitlist was successful. Thank you, Jake. If you could please delete that so we know, that'd be great. Let's see here. Are you still using Superior to service some of your loans? We don't use Superior loan servicing right now. We use FCI for the out-of-state loans that we service. How many loans go to foreclosure as a percentage in the state of California? I don't actually have that percentage. I know the last numbers I had were 2 years ago, and we were tracking REOs, loans that actually reverted versus loans that we touched in servicing. And I want to say we touched around 1,600 loans that year, and we had 8 properties that reverted back to the lenders. I don't have 2025 numbers right now. I'll probably touch on that when we do our investor event later this year in June, which I'll mention in a second. But is I believe those were 2024 numbers. Let's see here. Yeah, same situation. Someone asked off subject a bit, but I'm seeing more defaults than in the past. Is this something that we're seeing, and is it more of a common issue? Without getting into too much detail, I would say yes. I mean, across the board in the industry, I've talked to different brokers. Defaults are a little higher than they were in previous years. Um, I don't know why. They don't know why. It could be the economy. It could be whatever. Insert any reason you want, right? But yeah, I mean, I would say as a whole, I have seen defaults tick up a little bit across the board on all property types in most states, frankly. Let's see. If a borrower wants to extend for a year, is the new appraisal and credit report obtained? If you want one, ask for it. Yeah. If we reach out to you and we say, hey, the borrower was asking for an extension, do you want? Will you grant that? Typically, we're not going to get a new credit report and we're not going to order an appraisal. Now, if you say you would extend it, assuming we get an updated credit report and maybe even maybe something like a BPO because they're cheaper and faster, we can definitely request that and tell them that that's part of the conditions for extending. Um, Really, at the end of the day, the extension is up to you as the investor and or the majority of the ownership of that loan. So if that's one of your requests, you can request that. Let's see here. I was on a wait list, got an email saying the loan is now available. It said loan was fully committed. Apparently, someone else got ahead of me. Is that how it works? Yep. So again, right now it doesn't automatically commit you if you're on the wait list. It'll simply notify you that that loan is available. If you're not on the wait list, you will not be notified that that loan is reavailable. Let's see here. Please say again the days and times the loans will appear on Note Exchange. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. is what we're shooting for right now. That does not mean that we won't randomly post the loan here and there off schedule. That just means that that loan is going quicker than we expected, and we need to get it sold. So we might put some deals up here and there. Do I need to refresh my screen? I think it's always a good option. Always refresh it if you're never curious. But at 4 o'clock, things should get posted, and I would just refresh it at 4, and that way to make sure you see anything that you want to see. So that is all the questions I see on here. If there's any others, you guys can always call me, email me. I talk to many of you every day. I know sometimes I'm hard to get a hold of just because I'm on the phone a lot. So feel free to email me. In my email as well, there's a calendar link. You can always click that to schedule an appointment with me. If you have any feedback on the system, on the webinar itself, if you want me to do a webinar next month about something else too, I'm happy to do it. I think good communication is a positive thing in this industry. We are doing our investor appreciation event this coming June. It's going to be over here in Irvine, similar to 2 years ago when we did it in person. We don't have the exact date yet. That'll be forthcoming, but this June will be our investor event. We are going to do it in person, similar to how we were 2 years ago for those of you that were able to attend. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I want to thank everyone for attending. This was a good webinar, I hope, and hopefully everyone got something out of it that they enjoyed. And please feel free to reach out with any comments or feedback. And I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful night. Thank you, everyone.